Oh. Oh boy. As I wander through my travels on the road, camping, experimenting, I tend to accumulate little bits of video that don't make it to the other videos because the video was too long and just didn't have enough room, or they just didn't fit in for whatever reason. I call them the stray dogs. But I can't use stray dogs, or people on YouTube would complain, oh, that's clickbait, there's nothing about dogs in here and they're not strays. So I'm going to have to come up with another clever title. So here's a collection of my little odds and ends, the strange, the unique, the misfits, little bits that didn't make it to other videos. I'd like to show them to you and just give you an idea of little snippets of life on the road. Enjoy! You might find it amusing. Oh, camping God, what is the meaning of life? Dope! Highways and roadside trash seem to go hand in hand, and it's amazing what you can find littering the gutters. Sometimes it can be useful, like these solar panels ripped off a trailer by high winds. Unfortunately, they were just too damaged to salvage. Even the most remote places in the forest, man's junk tends to claim its territory in the rudest way. Ugly eyesores in a lush, delicate greenery. Yet some trash does have its charm. This 1961 Wyoming license plate does tend to complement its surroundings and give a sense of history to a parched landscape. And it's a great shelter for little critters. This old jalopy in Montana has had this viewpoint for nearly a century. I think it's earned it. Yet it's those who use junk to bring a smile I really appreciate. Wherever there's a road, there's a sign, but some signs have different meanings to those that view them. Skidmore, Texas is a cute little town, but I'd like my tires with less skid, please. And Little Hope Cemetery does not give me much faith in the afterlife. One notorious sign of the times was in Rock Springs, Arizona. While this Get a Slice billboard seems innocent enough, it was the sign it replaced that caused the fuss. For years, ladies had to put up with this grab-a-piece ad until it was finally deemed inappropriate. But the cutout nearby still remains, and it was a temptation I couldn't resist. How did it feel to be an icon of sexism? I'd have been happy to lend my face to the picture, however they probably wouldn't sell any pie. Hickman, whoever you are, you need to take a hint. Shower more often. While driving through Hooker, Oklahoma, I couldn't help notice the Hooker Inn. But it was Clarksdale, Mississippi that actually had a Hooker Hotel. But when I saw Come and Go, I thought they'd gone a little too far until I saw it was only a South Dakota gas station, where you pay at the pump and don't let your nozzle drip. T for Texas, T for Tennessee. T for Texas, T for Tennessee. T for Thelma, that girl made a wreck out of me. Yole, yole, yole. Yeah. Although I do make an effort to make quality nature videos, sometimes the effort takes risk, as did this shot. Well, rainy days don't always have to get you down. As long as you can turn it around and make something work, especially something that doesn't work because you broke it. And I did a bad one. A few days ago, I dropped my camera. Well, I shouldn't say I dropped it. It was on the rail and it fell off. It went off the rail, so to speak, and it fell on a rock in the desert. Not very good. I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look at the viewfinder lens, you'll see it's all cracked up. And rather than get shards of glass in my eye every time I look through it, I phoned up Sony and I got a replacement part, so hopefully I can fix it. Hopefully I can turn this sad rainy day into something positive and fulfilling. because shards in your eye would not be fulfilling at all. My camera was used and under no warranty, so shipping it off and paying hundreds of dollars in repair bills was not an option. But this is where Google really shines. I found the part number and Sony FedExed it to Tucson within 2 days. A pair of dollar store tweezers and a jeweler's screwdriver kit helped me remove the old viewfinder block and insert the new one. Patience and a steady hand was all it took. A couple of hours later, I was shooting again and had gained some knowledge in kamikaze camera repair. Despite the best of planning, some things just don't always work the way they should. I know there's a few times last year, in the last couple of years, where I've even made reservations only to find out that something screwed up online, and I got there, everything was sold out. And a couple of times in Albuquerque. I really like Albuquerque, but the first time I went to one of these free camping websites and it gave me directions, and I went there and I couldn't find the place. There's just no way. And I ended up staying in an RV park. And the second time I went through Albuquerque, I had 3 more leads. One was a parking lot in a casino, which when I got there was under construction, so there was no parking lot. And then there's another casino, which I just didn't feel right there. You know, floodlights all over the place, sloped parking lot, didn't work. And even went to a Walmart and that didn't work out. Somebody photographed me and threatened to call the police. So again, I went to an RV park. So there's some times where the best of planning and you end up late at night and you got nowhere to stay. So that's when stealth may be the only option, and it certainly is good to have that option if you ever need it. But if you don't have an option to be discreet, at least the truck stops are happy to let you take a break or enjoy a cup of strong coffee. Rest stops are apparently for rest, but only if you can manage to tolerate the engine noise. I've always been fascinated with the patterns found in nature, like symmetry where you expect disorder, where the smooth turns out to be delicate, and the still is really a ballet of activity. This pyramid in the sand was closely guarded by scarab-like beetles. Okay, I had to photograph this because I just thought it was bizarre. It's 5 different bird droppings in almost perfect symmetry, forming a curve and all equally spaced. Which may lead some to the all art is crap theory. Did you ever get a smile from a can of assorted Imperial Delights? Well, I did. This little smiley face was my version of the McHappy Meal. Well, today's Mexico Day, which is exciting. After releasing my Mexico in an A-liner video, one viewer was frustrated because I did not mention restrooms. Here's the reason I cut that section out. One thing about the toilets, el baños here, which are provided as well, is you don't flush your toilet paper down the toilet. You put it in a basket besides. And so if you get there later in the day, it's kind of like a grotesque diary of everybody's bowel movements during the day. So that takes a little bit getting used to. Some things you really don't want to know, so just look up. Don't look down.
Okay, a little too much information for some, so to turn the tide, I'll tell you that my last night in Mexico was magical, musical, and poetic. As couples strolled ashore, a full moon appeared over the sand dunes. I grabbed the camera to get a shot of a Jeep crossing in front, but strange things happened. I guess it's an allegory for those who reach for the moon but fall short in ambition.
Every once in a while, a viewer will ask me, when are you going to get some awning for your trailer, like a canopy or something like that, so you have shade? Well, I haven't needed it, I guess is my first answer to that. Like for example now, it's about 1:30, the sun's quite high, it's kind of like at its peak height, and even then I've got a tiny little area of shade with my trailer. Just the peak of the trailer here gives me this little bit of a shade. It's about 80, 85 degrees, so out in the sun it's quite hot. But here it's nice, and the metal sides actually keep your back cool, which is really nice. And I've got a little bit of a breeze blowing through. Now, if I was at the equator, when the sun's directly down, I would certainly have a problem. But for most places in the US and Canada, I'm okay. There's always some little spot that I can get shade at the side of my trailer. But it's not saying that I don't need an awning. On rainy days, maybe it would be nice, so I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come up with a neat idea. But then I thought about this. Just put a little bit of ABS pipe, and it's just strapped on the side of the chair. All I have to do is that, and I've got all the shade and protection from the rain I need. Except for my feet, but I'd be wearing flip-flops and shorts anyway.
In the Black Hills of Wyoming, I didn't need shade as much as I needed heat. An early freeze in October put a chill in the air, especially on shower night. So despite it being below freezing outside, I still need to take a shower. So what I'm doing is I'm heating up 2 pots of water on the stove, and what I'm trying to do is in boiling the water, that should heat up the trailer enough that when it boils, I can put it in my basin and pump it in and use it as a hot shower. I'm not going to use the furnace, don't need to, that should be enough. What I'm really doing is making a sauna inside my trailer, and then I'll fan it out and vent it out later. So that's how it should work. I think I can still take a nice, comfortable, hot shower, even though outside it's a little nippy. Can you see me? Well, that really worked perfect. It brought the temperature in the trailer up to about 70 degrees, and I had a really good hot shower. The only thing is, it's so humid in here, it steamed up the lens, which is probably a good thing. In Bumblebee, Arizona, you might be surprised to find out there actually are bumblebees there. Which brings me to a very strange sighting regarding bumblebees. I spotted a large queen bee on a branch, only to find out she had picked up a hitchhiker. In closer examination, it wasn't 2 bees, but 3, in some kind of strange menage a trois. I wasn't sure if one was making honey and the other just came along for the ride, but it did seem an unusual gathering. But soon the queen tired of these silly antics and she said,
"Heck with you guys, I'm out of here."
"Whoa! Ow, 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 the jewel's late, ow!"
What's with you guys? You take me out, you don't even buy me a drink, no movies, no popcorn.
Oh, ow, ow.
This date is over. Buzz off, guys.
Whoa!
So you go where the road takes you. And hopefully you'll find a smile on the way. And you'll never need to ask, the other big thing is never leave your camera behind.